What's going on, guys? It's me, Ranesh, and I got a great one for you here today. I want to talk to you about the 5 unseen forces that keep you from having what you want in your life. Look, you may be working hard, you may be really trying to go after it every day, you're disciplined, you're focused, you're trying to stay on the path, but you're just not getting to where you want to get to. Or maybe you're just struggling with something new that you haven't really cracked the code on how to get there. Look, whatever it is, if you're not getting what you want in life, this one's going to show you how to get there, and it's also going to expose to you these 5 forces that are at play all the time that literally, like, if you're not mindful of these forces, then you're not going to get what you want out of life. These are the things that keep you from having those things. So let's just jump into this one. This was so important for me because, if you're doing all the right things, but you don't have a sense of intuition or sense of awareness, I should say, with these forces, then you know what? Your efforts are going to be short played. So number 1, the first force that keeps you from getting what you want in your life is this force of incongruence. Incongruence. So incongruence essentially is that your lifestyle is not matching up to your life mission. Your lifestyle isn't matching up to your life mission. You want to meet someone in your life, that special person, but you're going out every single night, you're getting drunk, or you're, hooking up with random people, and you're just not living the life that is going to command and draw those people into your life. You see, that's just one example. Let's just say you want to make more money in your life, and you want to make $1 million this year, and what you're doing is you're not really learning and how you can manage your money, and you're not really managing what you have right now so you can actually know what to do when you do make that $1 million. So this idea of not being congruent is a big one. You'll tell people, hey, you know what, if you want to meet that person, why don't you stop doing all these things? Why don't you start living a life that's more indicative of having a relationship? Why don't you start living a life that is going to draw that person into your life? And they'll think, you know what? I'll do that when I find that person. It doesn't work that way. It's not I will have it, then I'll do it, then I will become it. No, it's the other way around. It's you got to be that person so you can do those things, and then you can have what you want to have. So that's what congruence is. You have to be congruent inside with the life that you want outside. So figure out what you want, figure out how you can line up inside and be congruent with that. I gave that one example of a relationship, but there's so many examples. There's the example of money. If you don't know how to manage your money well, you're not just going to get $1 million. If you don't know how to spend well, and if you haven't categorized and identified what's meaningful for you with your money, what makes life rich for you, not somebody else. Somebody else, it could be cars and watches and purses and shoes, whatever it is. But for you, maybe it's experiences. For you, maybe it's great dinners with friends. I don't know what it is. Have you defined those things so that way you are congruent in your life, within yourself, saying, hey, this is who I want to become, so that way I can get these things out there in my life. Super important. Number two is this concept of reverse happiness. Reverse happiness essentially is a real thing. A lot of times people will come to you, your friends will come to you and say, hey, oh my God, I'm so happy about this promotion I got. I'm so happy about this thing that I won, or my kids did good, or I'm having a great day at work, and this is amazing. I'm so happy about this. And you're not gonna, you won't feel negative for them. You may not even feel jealous or envious of their success, but you'll just not be as happy for them as they are. You're not going to meet them at their happiness. You're not going to rise to your best level for them. And that's what I call reverse happiness, where it's not like you're really negative, but you're just not meeting them where they are. If someone is doing really well and they are crushing it and they're having success and they're having the outcomes that they want in their life, and you kind of want those, then the first thing you got to do is appreciate it. The first thing you got to say is, hey, wow, this is amazing. Appreciate, and then learn where you can go with it. And then say, hey, you know what? how can I ascend my own life? How can I ascend and become more of what you are becoming, more of what you're turning into in my own way? So celebrate other people's wins, champion them on, but do it not just passively, where you're just like, oh, that's great. Meet them at their level of happiness. Rise your level of happiness to their level. Try to do that. Now, you may not even be, of course, you may not be as happy as them, but your goal should be to meet them at their level of happiness when they come to you with their sense of joy, with their sense of success. Meet them there and then appreciate it so that way you can learn from it and then ascend your life to that level so that way you can become more of who they are in your own way. That's what I call meeting them there. But if you don't do this, this is a real force and you'll sense it inside of you. It's this force, what we call reverse happiness, where you're like, I'm just not as happy for them, but you're not mad at them, you're not negative on them, but you're just not meeting them where they are at right now. So really be mindful of these forces. Someone's not gonna be able to see this in you, but you will be able to notice these things within yourself. So reverse happiness is a big deal. As soon as you start tapping into that, you'll create a whole different energy with your peers, with your family, with your environment. It changes. The third big one, is this force of randomness. Randomness. If you constantly have this force of randomness in your day, randomness will lead to reactivity. So if you want to play out a day that's focused, that's strategic, that's full of energy, reduce your randomness. You see, most people think, oh my God, I could just have a spontaneous day. And if I have a day that, anything goes and I can just do anything I want to do and I want it to be more random. That's great. Spontaneity is good. But I'll tell you this, structure equals freedom. Structure equals freedom, whereas randomness equals reactivity. And you'll find the more reactive you are in your day, the less energy you're going to feel. The more reactive you are, the less insights you'll have about the places you want to go, the things you want to do, the person you want to become. You're not going to have those downloads, those insights, that intuition that's meant for you if you're just reacting to your day. One good way around this is to really dial out your morning routine. What I say is take out the rats. Taking out the rats essentially means RATS, which is reducing those random access times. Random access times, the rats, are times where you're randomly accessing social media. Take out the rats so you're not randomly accessing those times on social media. Put a kind of strategy or boundaries in your day where you're like, you know what? I'm only going to check in to my social feed at these times of the day. I'm going to maybe check in to Instagram or Facebook after I've done my morning routine, my workout. And then I come back and I do an hour worth of work. Then I'm going to check in and see what's happening in the day. You see, when you start removing those random access times in your day, you get more clarity, you get more focus, you get more drive, you get more momentum. And we know that with momentum comes meaning. So if you want to have a more meaningful day, reduce or eliminate the force of randomness in your day. Now, I get you can't plan everything out. I get that, there is the grace of God and there's things that are going to happen that, are not going to let you plan out your day. I get that. But for the most part, most of your day, you can say, hey, these are the times I want to do this. This is what I want to get done today. These are the outcomes that I want to have. And these are the processes that I want to get started in my day. And doing that actually makes you more intentional about your day. And being more intentional zaps away this whole energy and this force of randomness in your day. Okay? So number four, what is the fourth unseen force that's keeping you from having what you want? And that is temptation. Now, I don't mean the type of temptation you may be thinking about right now, but I'm talking about two forms of this, okay? There is temptation that says, hey, something's convenient, so I call it convenience temptation. And then there's also the type of temptation that says, hey, something's challenging, So I call that challenge immersion. So convenience temptation versus challenge immersion. What do I mean by this? So let me explain. Convenience temptation says, hey, I'm super hungry. I need to get something to eat. There's this cookie in front of me. Boom, I'm gonna wolf it down. I'm gonna eat it because it's the most convenient thing in my path. If you follow a life of convenience and you're tempted by that all the time, you will now define who you are, what you do, where you're going, all from this level of convenience. Convenience doesn't lead to growth always, right? Convenience doesn't always lead to moving ahead and growing as an individual and getting to your outcome, right? Convenience is what's in front of us. But the challenges that we dive into intentfully and we immerse ourselves, those are the things that are going to grow us. You're always going to have those two options. Do I just do what's convenient, or do I take the road that's a little bit challenging and I immerse myself in it? So challenge immersion over convenience temptation. Anytime you have, this could be as small as, hey, you're in your home, your apartment, and you got to take out the trash, and you're like, oh, I'll just do this later. It's so convenient to put it off. Challenge immersion says, hey, this is kind of challenging. It's a mental play. Let me just do it now. Let me immerse myself in the challenge. And as you do that, you become stronger. You become more resilient. You become like the person that you should be to have a command over your temptations, right? You have to exercise this muscle. So if you always side with convenience temptation and you never immerse yourself in the challenge of your day, you're never going to move ahead. You're always going to be falling prey to the easy decision. What's that saying? It says, hey, look, easy decisions, tough life. You make the tough decisions, you get an easy life. Let me say that again. You make the easy decisions, life is tough. You make the tough decisions, life gets easier, right? So really immerse yourself in the challenge of your day. And we know you're going to have so many challenges in your day. So immerse yourself in there. Pick the thing that's a little bit harder. Now, this doesn't mean all the time. This doesn't mean that, hey, you can't allow yourself to slip or to have a day where you're like, man, I'm super hungry. Let me take that cookie. I get that. But you got to find that balance with that force, because that force of temptation is always there. And if the temptation always wins and that challenge immersion loses, you're not going to grow. You're not going to get there, and you're not going to create or become the person you need to become to live into your dreams, right? The fifth force, this unseen force that's always there, that's going to keep you from having what you want in your life, is hesitation. Hesitation is huge. You hesitate, you lose. You hesitate, you lose. What do I mean by this? Every time you want to do something great, there's going to be this part of you that hesitates in doing it. Every time you want to make a move or talk to that person or, say something or raise your hand or do something you're not normally used to doing, and you hesitate and you listen to that hesitation, you lose. Why? Because you don't grow. You don't get yourself out of that zone of comfort. You don't get yourself into that unfamiliarity. You see, hesitation isn't just a mental loss. It's also a time loss. You see, when you start on things and you don't overthink it, you don't wait for the world to line up so that way you think you got all green lights. When you don't do those things, you'll find that, hey, wow, I'm really building that momentum. I'm really creating meaning in my life. So think about all the areas in your life right now that you're hesitating on. And the next time you sense this urge in yourself that says, you know what, I'm gonna hesitate. I'm not gonna start on this right now. Double down, do the opposite. Start on it. Make that micro commitment, that micro move towards doing that thing. You see, micro commitments, one small step takes you to the next step, Because here's how it works. When you take that small step, encoded in that small step is the insight, the intuition, the motivation to get to step number 2. You see, those that are hesitating their whole life are always waiting for the perfect time. They're always waiting for all green lights. And what they don't realize is that hesitation will never get you green lights. If you always have your foot on the pedal, on the brakes, you're never going to move ahead. And if you try to move ahead, you're going to drag yourself down. So, X out the hesitation in your day. X out the hesitation with your dreams. Things that you want to do, make the micro commitment, because the micro commitments lead eventually to the macro outcomes. A lot of times people get so concerned about, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to get there. Figure out what you need to do today. Start there. And that small step, it'll get you to the next step. So these are the 5 forces. What are they? Once again, you got incongruence when you are not lining up with your lifestyle. Doesn't line up with your life mission. Who you are as a person is not lining up with where you want to go and who you want to become. When you have that, it's not going to fly. Number 2, reverse happiness. Meet people at their level of happiness. If they're happy, meet them there. Don't just be not negative. Don't just be, the person that's not, okay, I'm not negative, but also be there for them, rejoicing in their joy. Number 3 is randomness. Create structure. Structure equals freedom. And realize that randomness equals reactivity. Number 4, temptation. There's convenience temptation and there's challenge immersion. Immerse yourself in the challenge of your day. And number 5, hesitation. You hesitate, you lose. So I hope these five forces, now that you're aware of them, you can't change things that you're not aware of. Now that you're aware of these forces, they're at play all the time. You'll be able to better navigate, manage yourself through them, and be able to create better decisions for yourself, knowing that these forces at play are not serving you. They're there to help you grow. They're there to help you teach you to get better, more directed, more intentional, and more focused in your day. So use them as springboards to the greater things in your life that are going to help you empower you. Okay? So I hope that helped. As always, leave me a comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought here in this video, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, have an incredible day and live inspired.